That's dark.
It's very, very dark. And kind of ironically, because of the war on drugs, because so many drugs are illegal, now people are dying from fentanyl from things that are not supposed to have opioids in them,
Yeah.
which is even more insane because now people have this, I don't want to say a taste for it, but it's so common. Like like opioids are so common in this country recreationally now because of OxyContin. And then you've got like people try to buy like street Xanax and it
Yeah.
has fentanyl in it.
Yeah.
Or street cocaine has fentanyl. We lost a bunch of comics in LA recently.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah.
In Venice, right?
Yeah, I don't know where it was.
Yeah, I
just
was
know
in
it was in
Venice.
LA. I didn't know.
They were like having a little house party and doing some coke recreationally, and there was fentanyl in it, and they all died.
It's fucking, one person survived, but the whole thing is fucking insane.
Right.
It's so insane that it's so common. It's so common to hear about someone overdosing from fentanyl.
Yeah.
You read about it in the news. It's in the news all the time. Athletes, singers, someone fucks up and takes the wrong dose and they're dead. And I believe what happened with Tom Petty was he got off stage and I think he had some sort of an injury and he got a pill from one of the guys who was like a sound guy.
And it had fentanyl in it.
And it had fentanyl in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, people are so desperate they'll take some stuff that's not even from the pharmacy. They just need it.
And that a family was able to make so much money.
How much money did they make in total?
I mean, if you Google their value, it's between 10 and 20 billion reported. Nobody knows exactly how much. They're a really secretive family. One of the most internet scrubbed families, and Richard Sackler in particular, people I've ever encountered. You just can get very little information on them.
Wow.
But, and the other, I think, big part of the story that surprised me was the FDA, right? And the FDA's role in opioid approvals. And in the case of OxyContin, we think about like the FDA as this big, giant bureaucratic organization. And, you think, we were talking about stem cells a little bit earlier, that if you want to get an approval for a drug, you got to send it to the FDA. And it's going to be reviewed by this massive board of scientists and, experts, and they're going to make a determination after careful analysis, right? That's not how it works. And in the case of OxyContin, the whole approval process came down to this one guy, this guy named Curtis Wright. And Curtis Wright, when Purdue Pharma needed the FDA to approve, they'd spent $30 million developing this drug. The whole business of drug developing is fascinating, but they were all in and they needed this drug and to keep the company alive. They needed the FDA to approve it. And this guy was like, I can't approve this. This is heroin in a pill. No. Well, and they kept trying to get him to approve it, and they kept trying to and they started trying to like pump his ego up. They started writing articles with him. They started trying to, schmooze him and charm him. He wouldn't approve it. Finally, and no one knows the facts, they took him to a hotel on the East Coast. Purdue Pharma took Curtis Wright of the FDA, spent a couple of days in this hotel room. They came out of the hotel room with an approval, with the language, OxyContin, quote, is believed to be non-addictive, is believed. If you think about that language, it had never been used in an approval process before, ever. Made no sense. Is believed. Not is not, but is believed to not be addictive. A year later, he leaves the FDA, where he's making probably 50 grand a year. Where does he go work? Purdue Pharma.
Ugh.
For $400,000+ a year.
Ugh.
They